All right. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Veil with Bonesy and Conscious Evolution. How you doing, brother?
What's happening, man? What's happening? Quarantines.
Yeah, I
Don't
know.
touch me.
You
Stay back.
got the cooties.
Well, the perceptions aren't the perceptions. Boy, if I had a penny for every perception of what's going on right now, I'd be fucking millionaire, man. I'm telling you, there's so
I
many
heard
people with so
something
many
that
ideas.
was really interesting last night. I had a very profound experience I'll talk about at some point in this show. Has to do with cutting my finger almost off. That there's a lot of perceptions out there and none of them are being forced upon you. You're choosing to intake
Exactly.
that perception. You're choosing to watch the media. You're choosing to allow that propaganda into your life. And that's like,
You will see. You'll see what you're looking for.
yeah,
If you're looking at a picture and you're wanting to see only the blue in there, every piece of blue will stand out.
yep,
You know, you'll ignore the red, the purple. I've watched them. I watched these people ignore everything and only hold on to those morsels of pods of whatever they've gotten their hands on. That's just the truth for them, that they've decided this is my truth. And you can shift that. You can change that. So people in misery, I mean, there's a lot of reasons to be in misery, but a lot of it's by choice. A lot of it's because you haven't figured out, a lot of people, what most people don't know about karma, a lot of people think karma is that thing that comes back and it's like you've done something bad and God punishing you. That's what people think. That's not what karma is. There's a pendulum effect. In the seven hermetic principles, there's this, the yin and the yang. Whatever you do positive, it'll come back to the negative. Whatever you do negative will come back to it'll eventually, it all equals out, right? So if you're doing something that's out of balance, let's say you're spending money and you've maxed out your credit card. You've swung yourself so far to the left. You're so fucking out of balance, dude. One thing happens, like just happened, you're done. You know what I mean? You're going down the tubes. That's how far out you've taken yourself. You've taken yourself to where if one gear fails in your whole little machine that you got going, you're gonna fucking crumble and fall. That's so what it is, it's called the law of average. It comes back. Now you're destroyed. You've done win and borrowed everything against the future that you could possibly get your hands on. You've literally tried to decide what the future is going to be. You've said, I can't afford this because nothing's going to happen because I said so. Come on, man. Use your head. Anything could happen anytime. You should never have yourself so far out on a fucking limb where you're, you know what I'm saying? Now, I
well,
know people got to live, people got to have things, but you get yourself in a certain situation when it comes back. That's what karma is. Karma is just a balancing. It's just a balancing of the scales. That's all karma is. If you've got yourself too far out this way, doesn't matter what you've done, it's gonna come back.
yeah, that's why I'm
But
always about kind of just staying in that middle, that neutral.
right,
That's the best place to be,
it,
and that's where you're going to be least affected when shit like this happens. You know what I mean? My life really hasn't changed a whole lot going through all this, and I don't entertain media. I don't entertain the news, and I haven't for years. And that's been a major part of my message to everybody: is stop watching the news
yes,
and
don't watch it.
listen to your heart, listen to what's inside, because that's all you need. Everything is
Yes,
here. It's all here.
yes,
It's all you need. And and
and
that's
that's
like,
why we was talking about Go ahead,
well, no, I was just gonna
go
say
ahead,
like
brother.
that's how my whole entire life has changed. That's how that's full 360 in the last year or 2 years of my life. Every single thing has changed because I decided I was
Change,
going to change, because I decided to
right?
stop entertaining things that weren't serving my highest good. That news isn't serving your highest good. They're telling you what to think, what to believe, and that they're the only source that you should listen to for information. And that's, it's so controlled and regular. There's this documentary I just saw recently. It's called Out of the Shadows. If I remember,
Oh
I'll
yeah,
link it below.
somebody just sent me that.
Yeah, someone sent it to me, and I didn't watch it. It was just like a timing thing. And then I saw it in the comments of like 2 YouTube videos in the same day. People were like, "You should watch this," and I was like, "All right," so I checked it out, and you
Yeah,
know,
I haven't watched it yet.
you should watch it. It's awesome. It's really,
Is
really,
it good?
really well done. And it should be out there like in the masses, but it's not, just like any truth. But with everything, you're kind of given the truth and the lie at the same time. It's up to you to decipher the truth.
Right.
Um, but too many people are surrounded by that fear and
Right.
just taking everything in that the news is saying. They're just overloading your senses with that fear, and you just take it all in. You know what I mean? And you believe that, and that they have completely controlled the world by
Well,
story, by a narrative that isn't even true.
by a narrative. Exactly. And YouTube's helping to continue to keep that narrative going. And they don't want other viewpoints. I see other channels who are trying to speak truth and trying to add other thoughts to this, and they get struck down, man, quick.
Yeah.
And it's really, that's sad.
It's what's been happening for a long time. But all right, I don't want to talk about that anymore.
It should be You Comply Tube. It should be called You Comply Tube.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
Okay. You didn't hear me?
No, you cut out.
I said it should be called You Comply Tube. You Comply.
I like that. That's exactly what it is. I mean, all the news organizations coming online now, they're all being on YouTube and sponsored. And if anyone's saying anything about the truth, it's surrounded by what they want you to watch and believe and everything.
Yeah.
So it's really your discernment is more important than ever now. And it kind of goes in with what we're getting ready to talk about with meditation. Meditation can really help you refine that. Can't think of the word. Your discernment, your cognitive.
Your inner voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your inner voice. Your subconscious, and you're literally you're tapped into. We're all connected to God. We are part of God. We are part of. We know that the universe is mental. We know this. We know that it's consciousness. We know that it's intelligence, and we know that we are intelligence. We know that we are part. We've been created by intelligence, and we are intelligence. We know this. We know we're part of this. We have access to everything there is, from the future to the past, which is all happening at once. We have access to that God information, that light, which is everything is light. It doesn't matter if it's a table. When you hear people talk about frequency, they'll say, well, that's made of a lower frequency than this, and frequency is nothing more than the measurement that a object gives compared to the frequency of light. It's measured to the frequency of light. Everything is measured. That's how you get a frequency. The frequency you get, that's measured against light. Everything. So it doesn't matter if it's a rock, it doesn't matter what it is. It all is compared to light because it is light. It's just a lower frequency of light. It's all information. Light is information. Okay, so when you meditate, when you finally get to where, and it takes a minute, this, you're not going to sit down and meditate and connect. It's a process, and it takes a week or two to where things start to happen, and you start to see things in your third eye, and you start to feel things in your body, and you start to vibrate, and you feel these frequencies, and you feel yourself tingle, and you get up earlier in the morning, and you fucking have energy, and you have intelligence. Like you're just things are just starting to happen in you because you're changing your regulatory, the way you breathe, you're changing the way you think. But the main thing about meditation, a lot of people don't know, is the science behind it. We are a chemical, I was telling you earlier, we're a chemical reaction. Carl Jung knew this. He studied Buddhist and a lot of Eastern philosophy and a lot of Western philosophy and different esoteric knowledge. He's pretty up on some shit. But he also knew that we were a biologic, we're a chemical reaction from Jump Street. A sperm meets the egg, You know, one cell turns to two, two turns to four, four to eight, and so on and so forth. So as oxygen is implemented into this and blood comes into it, plasma, we are created, you know, we like this thing that just like a seed pops open and this thing comes out and then all of a sudden a leaf and all this shit, right? So this is still going on. We think, oh, we're just walking around, you know, breathing. No, shit's still going on. You're still a fucking chemical in process. You are still a biological thing that's growing. That part of you is dying. New parts are being created and replacing that. And the way it's done is by how you breathe, how you think, and the way you think. Because if you get yourself stressed, if you get yourself in fear, they know this. Your kidneys begin to contract. Your kidneys is where your blood's going to be made, okay? Your bone marrow is going to send out what's called stem cells. Stem cells are going to go, this is how I understand it, and I could be wrong. Yeah, but I'm close. I guarantee you that I'm close. Stem cells come to your kidneys. That goes in, mixes with the oxygen in your lungs. Well, the kidneys are sending out plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells. It's all happening and all that. That's why when people, they need dialysis, they need their blood changed because their blood is old blood. Old blood's bad news. Contaminated blood, which is what these fear people, the people that are in fear, their blood is contaminated. It can't refresh. Their blood's not refreshing at the rate that it needs to refresh in order for them to function biologically correct. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not aging correctly. They're not moving correctly. Some of them, the reason, the evidence is: can you not sleep at night? Do you fidget around? Does it take forever to get to sleep? Do you have problems digesting your food? Do you highly agitated? Are you confused all the time? You go to get something out of the garage and you can't fucking, like, what was it? You know, all these things are signs that you biologically, you're not processing air, you're not processing, you know, what you're breathing, and you're not processing the light, the information. You're not getting what it is you need to be optimal. And why we don't want to be optimal, you know, guys have cars and they make them, soup them up, guy has a camera, he gets the best, you know, Sony AR7 through whatever, and the best lens. But when it comes to us, we're like, whatever, give me some McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? What's wrong with that shit, man? You are like a finely oiled machine, and if you get your shit running right, man, you're on some shit, dude. It's a whole other game. You're into a whole other game. You get unplugged from the matrix, dude. It doesn't matter if this economy collapses to me. Dude, this grass is under my feet and the sun is right there, and this is what I live for. This is me. This is what I am. I'm all that is that's real. Money's fucking fake. Shit on TV's fake. You can't even prove to me those people. You can't bring me any of those people and show me where and grab them and hold them and see if they're real. None of them. I don't know if any of them's real, so I don't believe any of it. I don't watch none of it. I don't know if they're real. But anyway, let's get back to meditation. When you breathe and you focus on your breath, and a lot of times the reason that they tell you to focus on your breath is because we all have rhythm. We all are born to a rhythm. There's a rhythm on this earth. There's a rhythm. Your heart's beating at a rhythm. You're breathing at a rhythm. There's a certain rhythm that you're supposed to be in. That's why they put this oxygen thing on you when you go in there and they see what your breath rate is. They want to see if you're in rhythm, right? Well, when you get to where you're breathing, and you start to focus on your breath and you begin to relax and you feel your body relax, your kidneys will relax. When your kidneys relax, this is what happens biologically to you. Your kidneys relax, the plasma that's supposed to be being created, the bone marrow starts to do what it's supposed to do. It sends stem cells. Your kidneys begin to create this new blood. It's blood, semen, every fluid in your body is holy, my friend. Everything in you is like a sacred appointment. Your blood especially is the most important thing in you. You create this new blood, man. When you breathe, that plasma goes into your lungs, combines. There's where the chemical reaction is. That new blood, that plasma combined with that oxygen creates this cell, red blood cells, and they go, and white blood cells are being created too. Now, white blood cells is what's fighting off the disease. That's what we need right now. White blood cells are like the last in line, sort of. 55% of it's plasma, 45% of it, I think, is red blood cells, and mixed in with all of that is white. But my point is you ain't just breathing to calm down. You're not just trying to go to a happy place, dude. You're literally regulating the machine, the mechanics of your body. You're you're changing the chemical reaction, man. It's like, when you go in here, if you're cooking an egg at a certain temperature, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. If you do it this way, add it to water, whatever. It's like that. It's a chemical reaction. So what we do is we make sure that we can get our blood going, our blood flowing, new blood, new air, new oxygen. And what happens now is you become in tune, your brain, all those axioms, all those neurotransmitters that are just like been going down the same old path, the same old path, the same old path. There's new ones waking up, and they're like, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? You have all these brain cells opening up right now, and they're choosing new paths. So now you have new thoughts. See, all the information is out here. Only information you got is, whatever Trump said, whatever your governor said, whatever Trump said, whatever your governor said, whatever your all these things are feeding into it. No, man, get that fucking shit out of here. What's going on? You said intuition, there's information, real information being brought to you. And dude, God's been telling me some shit. But I'm telling you right now, nobody wants to hear it because the shift has happened. It's not going back. And I've been wanting to go on my channel and talk about this.
No.
But it's not good news to people. To some people, to me, it's the fucking what I've been built for. This is what I'm here for. This is my time, dude. It's on now. This spiritual war is about to go down, bro.
It's been going
spiritual war is about to go down, bro. It's good versus whatever. I'm in it to win it. Trust me.
It's been going down, but it's interesting. I listen to a lot of Cryon, and Cryon has talked extensively about stem cells, how the body works, and similar to what you're talking about, but more on an esoteric level than the actual biology level. But what he says, like with the stem cells, with your innate and your cellular structure, your stem cells reproduce. They are creating new stem cells, and at the point of creation, when it's about to reproduce, there's a question asked: is it the same information, or is there new information? Is it more of the old, more of the old, more of the old, the same old thing, or is there something new? And when you introduce something new, it can completely change everything. Everything. And that's so important, in that we actually have control over that. And eating right and not feeding poisons into your body is kind of important. But I also believe that their consciousness is so strong that you can still thrive and survive and thrive with eating kind of shit food if you have the right intention. You're not getting the nutrients that you need, but you're not, like, if I eat McDonald's, because I have, in a pinch, I'll eat fast food or something that, I'm going 100 miles an hour all the time, that if that's all I can get, that's what I get. But I have that intention that, like, my body's going to get all the nutrients that are in here, which are far from many, and we're going to just, get rid of all the other shit. We're not going to use it. We're not going to absorb it. And that's just what happens.
Consciously, yes.
Yeah. And I've been eating like shit lately, and I'm still losing weight, and I'm still in the best shape of my life. And it's
there's some people you can't do that.
I meditate every single day, at least 20 minutes a day, where I shut my mind off. And what happens is we're so busy in our lives, and most of us have busy lives, but what's happening right now with everything, when people are being forced to sit with themselves, and this is the best time to just sit still and go within, self-reflection. But not only self-reflection, but shut off your mind. Just turn it off. It is super hard to do. If you find a noise, like I like using the fan in the bathroom, because I have a little tiny thing, so I just sit like right outside the bathroom, turn the fan on, and I just concentrate on that fan. I concentrate on that noise where you don't think about anything else but that noise. So make sure it's something that's a consistent noise that doesn't have any crazy things going. And if you focus on that and focus on your breathing, then there's nothing else to think about. And then your body just starts to self-regulate. Your body will start tingling. You will start feeling that source that is within you, that God within. Will you align with your inner being, and it just, you become one in a sense, because you are one. You just
Right.
forgot it. You just don't realize it anymore. You don't know you have that connection because you've been programmed otherwise, but it's there. And it's the most powerful thing that you can find within yourself. It's, oh
Oh
my
yeah.
God, I'm like, my body's tingling right now just talking about it. It's so
Right.
beautiful, and just by doing that, by quieting your mind and
Not-
aligning with your inner being, you are regulating your body, you're regulating your digestive system, everything you were just talking about with how the body's production is. I mean, within our bodies are a million miracles happening every second of every day because of all the
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing,
biological and
dude.
chemical reactions that are going on. Like, our existence is a miracle, like everything is. All right, I got that out. So yeah, meditate.
Yes. 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 That's where you're gonna get. That's gonna find your answers. I mean, you're not. I swear to you, man, you're not gonna find anything out here. You're not gonna find it talking to people. You're not gonna find it, especially on TV. Anywhere on TV. That's such a TV is such a disservice. What do you think they're selling the motherfucker 65 inches for 2 hours?
Oh, and he's gone. Here he comes, and he's coming back.
You lost me.
There
How long
we
have I
go.
been gone?
Yeah, there we go. All right. That was only a second. You're good.
Yep. Good.
So let's shift gears for a second,
So,
because I had a.
I was saying, what do you think they sell 65-inch TVs for $250? They want you in front of that thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They want you in front of the TV, and where you be is
And that's
inside
what,
your own head.
and that's
Inside.
what most people do. They get home from work and they sit in front of that big ass TV and consume
Program.
useless programming. It's not
Yes.
useless because it's all an agenda to program you, because you've been programmed since birth for what they want you to be programmed with, which is to obey and
Yes.
follow what
Comply.
everybody else is doing. And
Right.
they don't want a population of critical thinkers. Who was that comedian that used to talk about it all the time?
George Carlin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
He's been coming up a lot in my reality, with that one skit. He's talking about the owners of the country and the owners of everybody, and owners of the world, basically.
Yeah.
And it's something he said. It's like, the education system's not good. It's built to create more obedient people to obey and do what they're told, and not to be critical thinkers, because the last thing that people in charge want is a population full of critical thinkers, because then they're in trouble. And that's kind of what's happening right now. But this was back in I want to say the 80s or 90s, probably the 90s, when he was like, that is never going to change. It's never going to change. It's going to be the same. But that was in an old energy. We're not in that energy anymore. We're in a new energy, and everything is changing, and it is going to take some time, but it is changing. Like, my kids' lives are going to be very different than ours, and they're going to make even bigger changes than we're making in our generations. Like, it's just going to keep building and building, and be that snowball effect where peace on earth is happening. It's going to take a long time
Oh,
for
it's coming.
energy to die.
There's no other way.
Out,
The
but
pendulum is swinging. The pendulum is swinging back the other way, dude.
you can't stop
This
it.
country and the world itself has swung that sucker so far out to the left, dude, or to the right, whichever you want to look at it. It's swung us so far out that it's coming back with a vengeance, man, and peace on earth. And you'll see it's coming. I mean, these people they're gonna kill themselves. They are killing themselves. I mean, they're just. And I think that a lot of the people that who are just so like involved in the fear, I think there's going to be this a new mass awakening of these people that finally realize these dudes. I mean, they're going to see it for what it is, because it's every day, and they're going to see other people going out in the sun. They're going to see other people living their lives. They're going to see other people just going on. They're going to look at the numbers, and they're going to, I mean, when you look at the numbers, there's 7 million people in Indiana, and I think, I don't know, 2,000, 3, 4, maybe 5,000 people are dead. I'm a numbers guy, so, and I know how many people are die by gunshots and how many people die on the highway and all that. I know all these other statistics. I know I'm more likely to be killed by 50 fucking other things before the corona gets me. You know what I mean? Now, does that mean I shouldn't take it? So, yeah, I'm going to wash my hands. But am I going to stay in my house because they tell me to? You fuck them. I never done anything they ever told me, ever. Not once. Why am I going to start now? Hell no, man. No way. I'm free. I'm sovereign. If I die, I'll die that way, dude. You can bet your ass I will die that way. I don't give a shit what I get. I don't care what I get. I don't care what I get. Trust me. God's got me, man.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say.
My brother.
That,
He's got you too, my brother.
yeah.
And all the people that are following us, watching us, I'm telling you, dude, they wouldn't be here if God wasn't sticking up for them. I'm telling you, because there's only going to be some of us who are going to get the shit. We're going to know what's up. The other people, man, they're just going to just off the cliff. I'm sitting here watching, dude, I got family and friends who are intelligent, who I've always had intellectual conversations over the years, who I know what their intellectual prowess is. I know how smart they are. And these dudes it's dumbed them down to where they are literally operating on what's being told, and they're doing what they're told, and they're doing it well. By God, they're following the okay, brother, whatever, man. Do your thing. I ain't mad at you. You know what I mean? I ain't mad at you. I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you. I really do, but I'm
Yeah.
doing me, man.
That's
And
I've been seeing a lot of mixed reactions. It's either the people are like fully engulfed in it, like you were just saying, like just to the T. They won't take their masks off even in they're walking outside and driving in their cars. Like there's
yeah,
something a little wrong with that, in my opinion. But to each their own. That's your path. You will discover what you need to discover if you're going to wake up this go round in your in this lifetime. Not everybody will. Um, and then there's the people that are like, this is complete and utter bullshit. You know what I mean? Like,
well, they know it.
I'm not wearing a mask in your store. And I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do this. Cause I ain't wearing one either. You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe it. Why do I need to wear a mask? You're supposed to be, you're supposed to experience it and have everything in your atmosphere in your life goes through your mouth and your nose, because that's how it's introduced into your system. That's how you continue to build up your immune system. That's what it's
Right.
there for. If you're just breathing your own breath over and over again, your immune system is weakening. It's not
Right.
being exposed to the things that should be exposed to on a daily basis. People's allergies are getting worse, and everything is just I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
Yeah.
And I don't believe it.
I'm following my instincts on this, like I always have on everything. It never made sense from the very beginning. When they very first come on here in Indiana, what they were telling people, you tested, you may have it, and the test people don't go get tested because you may have it and you don't even know. Then it was telling people you may have symptoms you don't even know. All these things aren't making any sense. All the things that they're doing, none of it makes any sense. They're leaving the stores open. I told Kim, no, you're coming home. They're just going to make her work. I was like, no, not until we know. Not until we know. Just stay home for a few. Let's see what's going on. You know what I mean? Because they was really like at the beginning, and I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? So I'm like you, I'm with this. I'm doing research. I'm trying to see it. Numbers aren't adding up. Everything they're saying is not making sense. Just nothing makes any sense. Nothing is making any sense to me. So I'm not following the narrative because it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? My brain is too functional. I mean, it just works. My brain fucking works, man. I don't, I use deductive, abductive, inductive thinking. I'm partially philomath, polymath, autodidact, epistemol, whatever the fuck you want to call me on an intelligence level. Dude, I think. I fucking think. That's what I do all day, every day. That's all I do. It drives me nuts because all I do is think. And with something like that, dude, I don't follow opinions. I don't follow shit like that, man. I go by common sense, man. And I especially go by math. Math
Yes.
and numbers. That tells me a story. You know what I mean? They're coming on like my cousin every morning. He sends me, I probably got a text this morning, 40 more dead in Indiana. He's watching Fox. I know he does because the way he acts. And he's thinking, they're telling, they're keeping them, and they think, well, if they hear 40 more dead, that's a body count, to them. But they didn't tell them, hey, like, 85 people died in traffic accidents and 70 people got shot. There was 150 opioid deaths. You don't find out that all these other deaths that are surpassed that. Fuck that.
That
Come
happens
on.
every day, everywhere,
All
all
day.
year round.
And then when they come on every day, that's the most evidence to me that they're trying to instill fear, that they're on every day. Kim's mom says, well, they'll be on at 2 o'clock to tell us. And she's like, did they come on at 2 o'clock? I said, I don't know, but sure enough, they was on there because I went to check at 2:30, and that's at 2 o'clock, I guess, is when they come on and start talking, I guess, for 2 hours or an hour or something like that. And they just sit there, and all these old people, they're the ones, I feel sorry for the old people because they can't go anywhere anyway. They're stuck there listening to this bullshit, terrified. Finally, her mom said, fuck it, I'm going. Her mom's a go-getter. She's like 73. She's like Kim, man. She's a spunky ass. She said, I'm going back to work. I'm going back to work. That store's probably a mess, she says. I'm going back to work.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad's like that, too. Most dads will be scared. He's going to be around. But, the old people, they watch him, too. Anybody who watches it. Hell, if I even watch 5 minutes of it, I'm like starting to think different. That's why I turn this off. Dude, it's already got me thinking, so. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel for people. I feel for everybody. I say turn the shit off and go within. You've got nothing to lose. Because I guarantee you, nothing's going to change if you don't watch it. There's nothing in your life going to change if you don't watch TV. Nothing.
No. That's what I thought when I first started, because I was, I'm in sales. So I was like, well, if I don't watch the news, I don't know what's going on in the world. I'll have nothing to talk about with people. It was the exact opposite. Yeah. I just stopped talking about the news with people. When people would bring it up, and I'd say, hey, I don't watch the news, but,
exactly.
This is what I know. And that's an even more intellectual conversation then. It's more real. It's not talking about superficial facts that are put in front of your face to distract you from what's going on in the world.
There's this is a distraction. Man. This is a distraction like I've never seen. I don't know what's really happening, but we probably won't know for years.
There's definitely something behind the scenes that we
there's something going on.
There's Naughty Beaver put out a video yesterday that was really, really well done. He didn't talk at all in this video. It was just different clips of different videos.
Send me a link to that.
Yeah, I will. I'll also try to put that in the video description below. I already forgot the other video I was going to put in there, but I'll try to put a link to that and check that out because it's really well done.
How long have you been on, my brother?
It explains a lot of what's going on right now, and that's kind of the narrative that I believe, and it makes sense to me the way it's out there.
When I first, when this first went down, I ain't gonna bullshit you. I told you in the other video, I freaked out for a second because I had talked to a friend up in Milwaukee, National Guard had shut everything down. They shut. She couldn't get her security. She couldn't leave. I mean, they were posted up. Mm-hmm. Talked to a dude on the East Coast. He said, "Oh, they got live ammo, National Guards everywhere." I'm starting to think, "Are you serious? We're going into a police state like this?" And I'm starting to think, and all my old programming of conspiracy theory shit. I mean, I've got hours and days and months and weeks and studying the what they call the Kabbalah, whatever, and Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, and all that shit comes rushing back, and I'm thinking, oh, they're going to set up FEMA camps, dude. They're going to try to get the virus. They're going to try to put microchips in us. I already know what's fucking up. I already know so I'm already on the phones with my people out, in the mountains. Hey, man, I got gas can. I ain't shitting you. The survivalists in me kicked in, brother. I had 3 of my kids. Within 24 hours, we was fueled up. We all had 20 extra gallons of gas. Mm-hmm. 3 weeks worth of fucking food, dude. And then I was like, what the fuck kind of energy am I in? I had to catch myself. I was like, God damn.
Yeah, dude.
I'm up in it,
Yeah. I had the same thing where I'm starting to watch these things, and it's like, these are the people that are, exposing the truth and the lies, of what's in the media. And you can see these people getting so angry because they see it. They see what's really going on, and they see the bullshit, and they're just like reporting it, and they get so angry. And I found myself in that energy for a couple of days, and I'm like, man, like this is so fucked up. And it like it took me back to the beginning, or this whole thing where I started my awakening, and it was like I was so angry, and I felt like I needed everybody to understand, like, how can you not see that this is a big lie, that this is an illusion of
Yeah.
control, you know?
Oh my God.
But then, you
It'll
know,
drive you nuts.
I don't like being in that energy, so I went back to my normal feel good. But there's kind of like a balance that we need to achieve here, because the conspiracies and all that shit is real, it's true, it's happening, but on a level to where
Right.
not to feed into it to that degree, to kind of know what's going
Right.
on,
You don't
but
have to
not
feed
be
into the fear,
affected
but
by it. You know what I mean? That's
yeah.
the balancing act that's there, and it's a tricky one,
Right.
because
Right.
it's easy to
Right.
feed into that and stay
Right.
into
It
that
is.
conspiracy theory that, you know, it's so easy to do, and that's what they want you to do. They want you to be
Yeah.
engulfed in that, because then you're still in a state of fear. Your body's still in a state of uh, fight or flight, or your body's not functioning
Yeah.
properly, you know, and
Right.
it just keeps going on and on until you break that cycle. Once you break that cycle and free
They
yourself
keep
from
you in a.
the matrix,
It's
dude, then
called,
your life changes completely. You're not
yeah.
affected by
And
these
that's something
things
else.
so much.
We was talking about the meditation and stuff, and I was telling you that's another thing. There's a thing that in your endocrine system. And I was telling you how it regulates the hormones. But there's this thing. It's what you talked about, fight or flight. It's called a somebody will probably come on here and tell us what the name of it is, but it's something like you. There's a tiger about to attack you, or you're coming into a wreck, or something's going down, and you have that fight or flight that's serious. Your whole entire body, the regulatory system, your kidney, the way you pump blood, the way the blood goes to your extremities, everything changes to get you out of a situation very quickly. And you'll breathe fast. Everything happens, and what happens is that's only supposed to happen for like 3 to 4 minutes to get you out of that dangerous situation, to get you. You get this incredible strengths of energy because you get all this oxygen and breathe different. And you're running and your heart's pumped, so that you can fucking get out of there. You know what I mean? Well, when they get you in this, and your kidneys contract and your lungs, I think they contract, everything, your heart's pumping, so your whole body, it can't take the stress. There's a lot of stress, and it's like kicking your car down. Something's coming, and you kick that motherfucker down, man. You're running 110. It's only going to go, it's you call for a minute, you're going to blow something, you're going to break something, blow something. That's the same with your body, but they keep you in it. They keep you in it. They keep you in it. And it's called a lockout or lockdown. And it's when your hormones, nothing can work. And your body is in this stressor. It's in a stressor condition to where you can't function. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where I was going with it, but when you said that fight or flight, that made me remember that that's how they've got your kidneys contracted, which is stopping you from having that blood interchange, that new blood, which is stopping you from renewing and having everlasting life. This is what everlasting life is about. People don't understand the renewal of blood and the anointing in the secretions that come from our own body. How we anoint ourselves, that's a whole other discussion. But anyway, I don't know where I was going.
Yeah,
I got
I
excited
mean,
there for a second.
in the Bible it says these prophets live for 400, 500, 600, 900 years. People were
Right.
absolutely able
There's
to do that. That's the fountain of youth. I mean, I'm 35 years old, and I still look like I'm in my 20s. Most people think I'm in my 20s, but
yeah.
3 years ago I looked like I was 35 years old and was severely overweight and unhealthy and stressed. My body was stressed, constricted all the time. And when you can only
Yeah.
survive in that constriction for so long, we're meant to be in expansive energy. Our bodies are meant to flow and function properly. But when you
Flow.
follow
You
the
have to have
media and the
flow state.
news, you're kept in that fight or flight, you're kept in that stress, you're kept in that anxiety, and then they want to feed you their depression medicines and their prescription cures that that
Uh-huh.
will help ease that, but it really doesn't, because you're in control. You're in power of your body system. And if that pill helps you relax, it helps you relax, but you're really still stressing and thinking of the same things. So when you
Uh-huh.
stop thinking of those same things and stop stressing over those things and look at them at a different way, your brain starts to wire in different ways. You know,
Yes,
Joe Dispenza talks about this a lot, and it really resonates.
absolutely. Yeah.
And he has the science behind it to prove that that's how it's happening. And they tested and measured and seen the changes in people's lives, like what's happened to me, what's happened to you, and the changes in our minds and our bodies and souls have all been documented and recorded, and it's right there for everybody to see. But you have to have the eyes to see, the ears to hear, to see that and believe it, because it's branded as some hocus pocus stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that's not real.
Right.
No.
Right.
Don't look at that. This is what you need to focus on. Focus on this fear. This is what's happening, or shove this down your throat. But no one's forcing you to watch that. You are volunteering to consume that information. You're choosing to take that in. You're choosing to listen to that. You're choosing to keep your body in that constant fight or flight, that constant stress, that constant anxiety. You can change all of that by
Right.
just starting to think a
Step
little bit
out of it.
differently. Just
Just
step
step
out
out
of
of it.
it. And
Exactly. I'm so glad I'm
surrounded
not
by
plugged in,
people
man.
that think that way, then step away from them for a minute. They're not going anywhere. Trust me. Like,
Right.
they're not.
Exactly,
I
man.
had to remove
Exactly. Not
myself from everybody in my life, because everybody that was around me was toxic in one way, shape, or form. You know, they all had their different
and
roles
you
that
can come
played in
back
my
you
life and
can
my
come back a year
evolution.
later. Yeah.
Yeah, and then a year
That
later, all those people that are,
exact same.
yeah, they're exactly the same. They're
Exact
in the
same.
same
You can
spot.
step right back
But
into it.
what's happened once I stepped out of it and changed my life and kind of set new boundaries. You know, I'm not willing to accept this anymore. So those relationships have come back into my life now a year later in a healthier way. You know what I mean? I don't interact in to a certain degree, but when we do have interaction, it's calm, it's peaceful, it's at a neutral level. You know what I mean? We don't talk about one side or the other. It's just neutral, and
Right.
that's healthy for me, and that's healthy
Yeah.
for them. You know, and so what I'm saying is, the reason I'm saying that is, if you walk away from the people that are keeping you in that state of stress and anxiety, and don't worry
Triggers.
about it. You know what I mean? Because if it's really meant to be, if they're meant to be in your life, if they're serving a purpose for you, of course they're serving a purpose. But if they still have a purpose for you in your new life, when you create
Yeah.
new path that you're on, they will come back in a healthier way. And you're also planting seeds in their minds that you're changing, because they're seeing you evolve as a human being, and seeing the changes that you make in your life. And that has an effect on people, whether it's immediate or years later, when they start to have an experience. If they do, like I said, not everyone's going to awaken, and it's not your job to awaken everybody anymore. Like, it's not your job to force anybody to awaken. You can't make anybody change. People are only going to change if they want to change, if they see something, if they take that and go to the next level. If they have that curiosity to look into it a little bit deeper, then they know who to go to. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So that everything works for a reason.
Well, see
But
it, and a lot of what you're talking about is, and surely I know you probably know this about yourself, that when you come back to that, you've planted seeds in them, but really the dynamics of what that's changed is you. It's the narrative you used to have, now new narrative, judgments you used to have, and now the new judgments. And when you come to the table you don't invest so much into certain things where you feel like there has to be something that you get back, and then you're always shorted on this, or there's this. You don't put yourself out to where you've got yourself, like I was talking about that pendulum thing, where you've got yourself out there and now it's fucking going to come back and get you, right? You're limited to, because before, you'd put so much into it, and and then somebody would let you down, like, oh man, yeah, I thought you were. Now you're reserved a little bit, and you just keep everything, like you said, in the middle and even keeled, and you don't let that thing swing, man. You don't go to these extremes, and you don't bring this narrative, this predisposed narrative to it. You don't bring these predisposed judgments. You just kind of come at it an open mind. They're going to try to trap you in their little web. They're going to try to do the old tricks that they did. They're going to say those triggers. It's going to be like, that doesn't do anything anymore. I'm a different kind of, I think differently now, and I'm not coming here with those kind of, whatever you say is not going to affect me the way it used to, because it's not that I am different, but it's the way I think. It's the way I'm approaching this. I don't have anything invested in you. Really, in all reality, I'm only invested in myself, in all reality. And this, how I react, is me. That's my decision. If I've been at it with you, it's been my fault, man. I swear to God, I've learned this. I've been blaming people that, I shouldn't let nobody get to me. You know what I mean? There should be nobody I should be Teflon Don. It's about, maybe you betrayed my loyalty or something. Now that's the worst thing somebody could ever do, because in my rule book, loyalty's at the top, and man, back off that shit. You are the one who's beating yourself up mad because, maybe you should have never divulged your information to this person. Maybe you should, if you're that uptight about it, maybe you should have kept that shit in your pocket, So we kind of set ourselves up for all this, and we kind of create these monsters by our judgments and our shit that we bring to the table.
Well, it's
they
about
be the monster they want to be anymore.
Self-accountability. Like that victim mentality to where we blame other people for shit that's going on with us. That's how we're programmed to do it, because we don't want to take responsibility for any of our actions. It's easier on us to blame it on somebody else. Well, it's their fault. It's that, but no, everything is internalize that shit. Take that.
It's like the new thing. That's the most popular thing there is to blame somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like big time popular.
It is. It's a lot easier to blame somebody else than to own that shit. You know what I mean?
Because then you're gonna have to change.
When you start to own it,
then you got to look at yourself.
You can't be mad at anybody else. Now you can. Don't get me wrong. People can, do you wrong or treat you bad or disrespect you, and that shit happens. But you don't let it affect you. You don't let it ruin your day. Like if somebody, did that. And I've had people say some fucked up shit to me, but I don't let it get to me. I don't let it ruin my day. I just think like, well, I kind of feel bad for them because they're at that point in their life where they think that I'm doing something wrong and they're blaming me for it. I'm the face of their pain. And that's okay. I'll do that for you. I'll be that face. That's fine. It doesn't weigh on me. You know what I mean? I let that shit go almost immediately. And when things start to affect me that way, I look at it. You know what I mean? Like, why am I feeling that way? Like, oh, and then you kind of realize it. It's like we're always connected to our higher selves as inner beings, but we don't really realize it. We may not hear the communications. That kind of takes me to this thing I want to talk about that happened to me last night. I was cutting a potato with a knife, and I cut it really bad. It's pretty nasty. But like the only thing that stopped it from going through my finger was my fingernail and my knuckle. I was right into it. It was a big sharp knife. But two things happened. As I was doing it, I was cutting a sweet potato. I was cutting it awkwardly with a knife that I shouldn't have been using. I got two visions in my head right before this happened. The first one was, hey, cut it this way. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? So that was the first thing. It was just like an image that popped into my head as I'm like struggling trying to cut this fucking potato. And then I didn't listen to it, obviously. And the next vision was exactly what happened. I seen like in that picture in my mind, the knife going into my finger, and a second later, the knife went into my finger. So after the pain went away, I had there hours. Like I didn't even make dinner. I had to like bandage myself and clean up all the blood, and it was throbbing so bad that I just kind of sat down and meditated for like an hour, and then passed out. I woke up. It's a lot better now, but I realized I heard something with Abraham Hicks, and they were talking about channeling and how when channelers interpret the message from spirit, they're essentially given a vision. They're given a picture, and they interpret that picture. That's what channeling is.
That's what's been happening
And
to me.
we're all tapped into our inner beings in one way, shape, or form, whether we realize it or not. But then it clicked to me because I remember those two visions of it happening, and I kept thinking, well, did it happen because that vision distracted me, or did I seen it happen and decided to put pressure on that knife at the wrong time anyway, and still slice my finger off, like,
Right.
but that was that communication from spirit, like, hey, don't do that, warning
Yeah.
me. And that made me think even deeper, like, how often do we get that instinctive, intuitive thought that we know is the
All the
core
time, bro.
truth, and we don't listen to it?
We don't.
Don't listen to it. I
That's why
think
I
that
talk
was the
about that
whole
gut.
lesson of me cutting my finger like this, was
Yeah.
all the times, like, I'm seeing it now in such a new, clear picture that it's fascinating, even though it took a little bit of pain. But most times we only truly learn through pain. You know what I mean? It's like either pain or
Yes.
joy. There are only two ways we really learn as human beings.
Pain is the greatest teacher in my life, dude. I'm very well educated because of pain.
Yeah. Yeah, my father used to tell me, pain is your friend. Get used to it. Learn to like it.
Yeah.
It's never going away.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
So,
never.
but that was profound to me,
Term.
that how often are we given those intuitive thoughts, those original thoughts that we know and feel that are true, and discard them, and we don't use them, and we ignore them until it comes back and backfires. Like my whole experience with my, what I thought was a twin flame, and all the red flags were there, and intuition was there, but I was so engulfed in that feeling that I went with it, and ignored all the signs. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
it kind of blew up in my face. But everything, it was meant to happen. It was meant to
Yeah,
be.
but I
I
don't
was
think,
meant to
bro.
have that
I
experience.
really don't. I don't think that blew up in your face at all. I think that was a whole. I could have never went out there without that.
No,
There's
that's
no way, unless she titillated you, unless she I'm telling you, that girl, I like that girl. She
yeah.
is doing her little thing with all of us. She really is.
Hmm.
And that was
Well,
you.
that's another
She
thing.
took you on a journey, dude. On a journey you went on. I sit there and watch. I was like, motherfucking boy is doing some shit right now. You come
You
rolling
know,
back in a
I
brand
was
new
I
car,
was
shit.
watching some of
Like,
the
yeah, you
videos
got a
this
fucking time
morning.
in your name. What are you doing? This dude comes rolling back in a new car, like beating and shit. He's already picked up another chick in Florida. He's all up here in Asheville. I'm like, oh my god, my boy is living it up. I'm like, oh, I'm so jealous. Oh,
Oh man.
I'm like
Yeah,
manifest like,
yeah. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. You know what I mean? I knew that I was being called out there, but
yeah, it's perfect.
it just goes. It went along with the story perfectly. That
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I seen it, I knew it, I felt
right,
it, but I ignored it. And it was also
right.
because I was being called there. I was literally like spirit literally screamed in my mind to do that. Like there was
Yeah.
no way I wasn't doing it. And no one
Yeah,
here tells me
if you ever put that story together from beginning to end, because remember I told you I said take those shots of your feet hitting the floor, the coffee
otherwise.
pot. I think I had like 3 pots, like 3 or 4 pots. You make another pot, remember that? And then you're on the plane and you're looking out the wing, and you take that whole story and put it together, all that video, and do some voiceover on it, add a little music. Dude, you got a story and a half on that shit.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's the kind of shit right there. You want to do some reconnective healing, get some people, coming to you. That's what that was, man. It was all you knowing, being in the know, being in the now, and just knowing it's okay. I'm following my guidance. I'm following my intuition. I'm following to the wind and any. I'm living now moment, dude. It was beautiful. I loved watching it. It was awesome. Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
need to put that. That needs to be a little story. Someday we'll make a little story out of that. That's
Yeah,
some groovy shit, man.
it was. It
And the
really.
people you met along the way coming back, just how with Mark and Asheville, how that whole scene folded in. How I knew Gary, and Gary had introduced me to Mark, and then um, Ed and Sherry was talking about shit there around Asheville, and one thing led to another, man. Next time I'm like, dude, you need to get a hold of this dude. And he's like, oh yeah, come on in, bro. You know, and now he's staying in a little hobbit house and shit, sending me pictures of that. I'm like, it's just too cool. This is just too cool. You got
It was.
you got little it was awesome. Yeah. That was magic.
It was. That's the perfect word, magical. Because I mean, that whole experience of that all summer, those months, from the time I left this little town of Hampstead, Maryland, and left the East Coast, that story really began. You know what I mean? That journey started, and it was.
It's sort of unbelievable. I mean, you know,
It
people,
is.
when you go back and tell it years from now, it's just.
Yeah, and I did it with nothing. You know what I mean? Like, that proved to me that I'm capable of things that I hadn't thought I was capable of. You know, and it's fully by trusting in spirit and trusting in God or the universe, whatever you want to call it. It's fully just surrendered to it. Like, whatever, I'm gonna be all right. It's gonna work out, and it did. So.
Right. And that's exactly how we should be living our lives, man. Just
Oh, yeah.
all your joy.
Yep.
All your joy.
Your audio is getting a little wacky.
Everything else you try to follow. You know, a lot of people when they're buying these things, and a lot of what they're trying to do is follow their joy. But you know, a lot of things you don't have to buy to be joyful. I mean, there's things that you would be amazed that are absolutely free, that are down to earth. Walking through a creek barefooted, dude, and turning going like you don't know. I mean, there's a lot of, and this whole thing that's been going on with me and her thing going to the parks and sitting around and really taking in God's beauty, you know, and really from everything from the blade knives to the birds to the sun to the, just everything, just really listening to the water like we've never listened to it before, touching it and feeling it like we've never felt it before, let the sun bask on our faces, our feet in the grass like we've never felt before. We're really immersed in what is real. We are immersed in the reality of what we are in right here, and not the reality they're trying to make us be in. We're gonna stick our bare feet on this ground. We're gonna have the sun on our face. We're gonna have the wind blowing up. We're gonna be happy, man. And that's how we're moving around.
Yes, sir.
And it's working, dude. Let's talk about the magic thing. Our lives are magic. That's another thing meditation does. It opens up magic. And I'll tell you. Did I tell you about the jump? I finally jumped time and space. Kim, I told you about her third eye activation yesterday. I'm gonna do it on my show because it'd probably be emotional. I'm gonna have her describe it. She'll probably start crying. I might get ready to because I was part of it, and it was like beautiful. She's turning into something, bro. She is like, I always knew she was. And she's been so scared because of the church. She's like this real, like, grinder for the church. She hasn't left that, and I let her know you don't have to leave that to be a free sovereign, you know, to connect with God yourself, you know what I'm saying? And to be all the glory that you are and be as great as you are. You know, you don't have to go through a church and all this. He's right here, man. Connect. And the more she does, the more she opens up in our fucking lives. That's magical shit. I'm talking about magic, crazy stuff. But me and my cousin, I'm just going to briefly tell you about jumping this time and space. I went and picked him up 3 o'clock just before this quarantine shit went down. Took it down to Tennessee to get a dog. Him and his old lady broke up. And then he went back to his office. So on the way down, we're avid fishermen. You know how my family is. We're crazy, but we had a couple of fishing tournaments, family fishing tournaments a year. We all asked coming. And you can see the topography. I mean, you can see the land, you can see the rocks, you can see where the sun, you know, the base. To us, that structure is our best set. So to us, being able to see that structure firsthand with lakes down is a big deal. Maybe we need to get a picture of that. So on the way back, we're going to get pictures. Well, on the way back, I'm fucking tired. I already drove up an hour and a half, 2 hours. Drove all the way back to Tennessee. Took 11 hours to get down there, get a motel room, sleep for 7, 8 hours, get that dog. We're driving 10 hours back up. The whole time back, it's I'm already 20-something hours on. Fucking just like, I wish this trip, I wish I could get this motherfucker home. I wish I could get him home. We get off the exit because it's exit 5. Anybody who knows where Huntington Dam is on Indiana 5 right there. And we get off, and my first thought is, I'm going to have my phone ready to take pictures of this dam. Me and him's talking. We come up around the curve to the 4-way stop in Huntington, right there where 9 and 5 cross. The dam is right behind us, dude. It's not even a quarter mile. I was like, dude, we did not go across the dam. He's like, yeah, it's up here. I said, no, it ain't, Mike. I said, it's right here. It was behind us. It's only a quarter mile behind us. Here's the 4-way stop in Huntington. He's like, no, it's further up. It's further up. I said, no, it is not. It was behind. So we drive about a mile. And he's like, you know what? You're right. You're right. He didn't catch it. I was like, so tell me, dude. I'm like, questioning. We did not cross that dam, did we? No, I swear to God, because dude, we did not cross the dam. I don't know how I got from where that exit to that stop thing without crossing the dam. And it was like that. It was the craziest thing. I just got chills all over me, man. I'm covered in chills right now. That's the first time I ever did that. I've had time jump stuff, and I've had some other crazy shit up. But that, dude, was the pinnacle of some shit that I've done. You know me, dude. I don't know what my IQ is, and I don't know how observant and aware I am of what's going around me. But I guarantee you, it's up there. It's up there, and I'm not gonna miss driving over a fucking dam. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna miss that. That's not gonna slip my mind. I'm not just gonna roll on by it. That just shit ain't gonna happen with me. So I even brought it up to him again. I seen him here a few weeks ago, and I was like, dude, do you remember? He's like, hell yeah, I remember. I said, we did not. Do you remember what? No, we didn't. And I said, what do you think about that? I wanted to know what he thinks, And he's like, I don't know. And I'm telling him, I said, did we jump time and space? And he just looks at me. I said, man, I said, you don't know who you're rolling with, brother. You don't even know the shit that's going on with us. But she had a green cord. She had it come out. The green and white cord come out of her third eye activated. Because me and my son had gotten into a little argument. He's a hothead like me. He says, man, this dude, he can say some things and really just get me to where I want to say some things back. And just kind of cocky, you know what I mean? And here I'm going to try to be in this good energy, but for some reason, he loves me. But he'll say something kind of cocky, which I made my boys that way. I mean, how can my boys not be sort of like me, So, but anyway, so she can't stand it if we have any arguments. Oh, it just weighs on her. So she's out here meditating. She's been doing yoga. And she's wanting to send love energy. She is like, I'm fighting this with love. I'm doing this because, she's angry at his girlfriend. She's sort of behind it. She's one of them smarter like me. Anyway, I ain't even bulging into this, but low frequency shit. But anyway, she's like out here, I'm dealing with love. She's out here doing her yoga. And all of a sudden, she's seen cordage, 2 cords. It was green and white wrapped in each other. She could see it. And she knew it was in her third eye because that's what she's doing. She found this chick that really just like, she loves this girl. It's called Boho Beautiful, I think is what it is. This girl has got her number. Kim's doing the yoga. She's really on it now. Anyway, she said to the garage where I was, and the other was shot straight to where he was. Yesterday, man, everything was like nothing ever even happened. He talked to everything was cool. I was cool. He was cool. Everything was cool. You know what I mean? So she did that, But she had that activation. She was bawling, telling me about it. It was pretty emotional. It was pretty good stuff, man. I was so jealous. I was like, oh, I've had a lot of stuff. I felt Zen or Christ consciousness. I felt that love. I felt that overwhelming. Just the overwhelming, you felt that. That's what got you started, I think, is that overwhelming feeling where you weep. I mean, the love and the light is so intense that it just literally will make you weep. We think we love our kids. We think we love our families. We think we love, man, when you get a fucking touch of some real love, when you get a touch of pure love, when you get a touch of God's love, you can't handle it. You can't. I don't think you could handle it over a few seconds. It's literally. Oh, it's some good shit. It's good shit, man. But I've never had the third eye activation, and I've tried, but now I'm going to really try now. I might try some yoga. I think that yoga has released something on her, man. She's walking different, dude, acting different, talking different. She's a little bit different
right now. Man. I've been really feeling like guided to do yoga lately. it really does have an effect on releasing energy stored in certain parts of your body.
Energy centers,
And
yes.
Brian Divisions, his girlfriend, has I think it's still out on line for free. Or you just sign up and get her like free class. It's like a 21-day course. And I've been thinking about doing that. I just haven't done it. I just started working out again, like in the mornings, and getting back into my routine because I really fell off of that when I didn't work for some time, and I was kind of
Me too. I started
down
a little
that
bit.
depression, like going into
Yeah.
and I've been back on my schedule for like 2 weeks now. So I started working out, starting to feel good, have more energy, and back to how things were before. And I like I'm still really sore today because it's really great. I guess we'll end it with this, but it was real. I have this kettlebell, this 15-pound kettlebell, ball, whatever you call it, weight, and there was something on Mind Valley I saw last year that was like the traditional way of working out just doesn't work for most people. And what he did is like just 2 minutes of intense workout a day. So like 2 minutes of a kettlebell workout, just going up and doing that thing for 2 minutes. Dude, I did it for 2 minutes and my whole body hurt so bad. Like it was a very intense workout for 2 minutes. And that was 2 days ago and my stuff is still sore. And
Good.
then, I did some curls and stuff and I was getting in it, but I haven't tested it with my fingers. So tomorrow morning I'm probably gonna do it again and do it like at least
that'll hurt if you bump that. That's gonna hurt, boy.
Yeah, it does. It's tender. I took it off and washed it today,
I hate that.
and I put that new skin bandage stuff on it, and then after it dried, I put a Band-Aid on it so I didn't bump it or get it nasty, because it's tender. It's real tender, but it's healing.
Yeah.
It's healing really well, man. Like you could really barely see where the cut went in. Like it was such a sharp knife,
Oh God.
Ah,
I can feel that shit. Knife cuts. I always feel.
Yeah, it gives you the heebie-jeebies.
How long we been on here, my brother?
Yeah, we've been on like an hour a couple.
Oh, right on.
All right, well, if anybody's still watching, much appreciated. Thanks for tuning in.
We love you. We
love you guys so much.
We do love you.
I hope you're doing well. I hope this whole thing is really helping you awaken, or you're finding your peace and your joy in this whole thing, and we're really in uncharted territories. Like all the prophecies of old talked about like death and destruction and all that stuff, but really it's about the death of the old energy and rebirth of the new, and that's what we're in now. We're in that uncharted territory of the new energy.
I'm going dead, my brother.
All right, man.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. Be the change that you want to see in this world.